yeah, let's click on this. And the interesting thing is you can actually see here only left media, only right media. The point is that suppose that you are a left-leaning person and you don't like right media. We can show you how bad right media are, okay? Because if we show how bad left media are, you're not going to believe us. You're going to say, I mean, they're good, I know that. But if we show you the ones that you don't like how bad they are, I mean, you're going to say, yes, I always knew it. But in the process, you're going to learn how to detect those techniques. And next time you're reading something that is actually very, very biased, you're going to realize. And this is actually something that has happened to me. So look here, right? SWAT, this is logic language. We have 18 techniques. Half of them are some kind of a view to emotions, to fear, to prejudices. The other half are logical fallacies. Things like, you're either with us or against us. Well, there are other options. Maybe I don't care, right? Stuff like that. So here we have ridiculous, this is name calling. Pulse comedy show over election bias, this is logic language. Or here you have one of the biggest changes in politics that's ever occurred. Okay, so this is an exaggeration. What's wrong with BBC? What's wrong with BBC? This is doubt, right? This is automatic analysis. Kind of, so we tell you, this again kind of, what is wrong with BBC, and destroy is now appeal to fear, right? Trying to scare you. And so on and so forth. Right? Ridiculous is. I mean, all these things are available online. The APIs is publicly available. The browser coding is publicly available. This analytic platform is available. The news aggregator and this kind of fine-grained propaganda analysis. Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
It was indeed a very informative talk, sir. Thank you so much. I wanted to know that how you have decided on the topic of the fake news, that is news. Is it crime or it falls under which category?
Okay, well, this is a very good question. So the question is, how do we know whether something is factual in its reporting, for example, to begin with, right? And how do we know this is a good website and this is a bad website? So here's how we know. I did not mention this, but there is this website. So basically, truth has to come from somewhere, right? So we cannot, I don't want to decide what is good and what is bad. So what we are doing is, if I put here, I don't know, I'm just going to put here, try this. Okay, it's here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so what those guys say, so those are journalists that are there. It says that there is right-center bias, and they say it's hyperactuality. Okay, I don't know if you guys agree with this. We can go here kind of in our thing. I can look here. I can look for Times Media. Let's see what we have then. Okay, oh, it came, the Times of Media. Let me see what we have on there. Right? So, but basically, okay, what are these words? So, this is a website. There are journalists here with a very, very long methodology, with pages and pages. They are there with their names, and they are manually checking everything. Now, you can go there, you can vote, you can say, I like this, I don't like that, or this is wrong, or whatever, but they are not doing crowdsourcing. I have problem generally with crowdsourcing the truth. If it's done by experts, it's fine, but kind of, just because most people believe in something doesn't mean it's true. And I can give you an example. One example is when today, most of the people in Russia don't believe that Americans wanted to the moon. Okay? Now, if you put this in perspective, when it actually happened in the 60s, in the condition of very bad Cold War, there was absolutely no doubt. The Soviet Union congratulated, Armstrong. Not only that, they invited him to come to Moscow. Not only that, he went there. There was absolutely no doubt, right? But today, people believe it didn't happen, right? So it's not about who believes more. It's about what is actually true, and those are not exactly the same thing. So, yeah. basically those are experts that are doing it. And I can show you, okay, here's what we have on Times of India. You kind of find them quite trustworthy. Yeah, most recent.
One more doubt, that is, which category of news, I mean, in which category it has been reported? Say, for example, you gave an example that there were two news in tenway.org, and it was categorized as the first one was categorized under the crime and politics, so that was more harmful rather than other news which we cannot, even if it's okay if we don't care for them.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
Is the first.
yeah, okay. So the question is whether kind of we care more for political news versus others. No, here we do analysis of everything, right?
So all the claims were taken from the political category, or was there some topic modeling technique that you applied?
So we are okay. That's a good question. I mean, we are analyzing the entire website, right? But I mean, one thing that we might want to make a distinction is between the general news reporting and editorials, because editorials, they are supposed to be biased, they are supposed to be kind of provoking, discussion, but kind of the editorial, kind of the news reporting, and actually some of the media are different. There are media that are known to be biased in their kind of, interpretation of the events, when there's like studio discussions and all that, but kind of factual when they're actually reading the news, right? So kind of this also distinction.
Thank you, Dr. Preslav. We'll be taking more questions in the networking session we can take after this. Yeah. So I now request Dr. Tanmay to present him with token of appreciation. Our next speaker is Dr. Morteza Saberi, currently a lecturer at the School of Information Systems and Modeling, UTS Sydney. He was a lecturer at UNSW Business School prior to joining UTS. He has an outstanding research record and significant capabilities in the area of business intelligence, data mining, and applied machine learning. Today, he will be talking about ethical AI, specifically its two main streams, namely fairness and explainable AI. I now invite Dr. Morteza for his talk.
Hello everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. Actually, I'm visiting him as a part of Australian and India solution. So I was here to have this opportunity to talk. Actually, I expected recently about something on retailing, but I thought that the topic is not very related to this workshop. Then I decided to share my thoughts on ethical AI. For sure, I am not the expert in this field. Before starting the work which you did, the one part very interesting, because I'm originally Iranian. Tanbih in Iran means punishment. So awareness which comes with punishment. Yes, so it can be another fake news that some Persian language people say, okay, actually because I mean, just joking, but that was very interesting. Yeah, yeah. But in Farsi, in Arabic is from Intibah, and actually even in Farsi Tanbih means at the end you get awareness, but comes with the cost, which is kind of punishment. Okay, by the way, so ethical AI, I tried to just share my experience as a researcher in the machine learning analytics. What's happened? What we expect at the end, we think that because we have data and this data is available, we know all noisy, unstructured. But at the end, we need kind of insight. that insight can be like small things like Google Scholar, or it can be like for retailer, for finance, for different actual industries. So how we have this data? Because we had this data as a thoughts as a human. We had the emotion, we have like understanding, we have rating, we have ranking in our mind. But when we have this technology, we were actually able to put all of those thoughts and idea information in a databases. So we encounter with big data. Another problem is this one. So you can see this kind of interaction may actually give produce some noise. So we are actually in a noisy data set. That's another problem. And the presence of big data. So we have this problem, and we start to thinking what we can do. Then all the community from computer science, from statistics, from math, they decide to do something to control this data set, this kind of big data sets. Okay, so also, as one of the speakers mentioned, that while we think that big data in some area is like a long tail, we have we have no sample of data, or the data is with Google, we have not access to data, we need API, we should buy it. So this is another problem that then some of the government, I think it started from Obama time, that they need a data policy to share all of the data, then we can share our experience. And we have erroneous data. That's a big issue. I think the first talk from the IBM he spoke about the issue of the erroneous data. So what's happened? We have data. Before that, we have like a trained data. We have labeled data using crowdsourcing, using some expert. We annotated some data. But because currently we have a pipeline of data coming, you cannot wait for training. Somehow these days, people in machine learning, they think that they should move from like a supervised learning at least to unsupervised, or at least to the weak supervised learning. So especially in the area of the text and NLP, you can see this notion of the weak supervised learning has been arised, which is nice actually. But we saw, so what's happened? We had data set, we have big data set. Some of the traditional or conventional statistical model does not work. Or is that they are working, but we have not time to check. Who is going to check like a t-test? Who has time to say whether this coefficient is working or not, or related? So maybe from like 15 years back, people think that, okay, they don't need any more those kind of conventional statistical method, and they move to like a bio-inspired, like a genetic algorithm, neural network, and you see some like progress and some achievement in this area. So that's the story. But at the same time, because this topic gets like very exciting, all the people like to know what's the data. In different faculty, even I believe that in future maybe we have some like a change in our university systems in the faculties. So we have like a rise of GPUs around the globe. We have a big actually data centers. All of those data centers that actually produce energy. And this is very interesting to see that to training a large AI model, maybe it's consume more or actually produce more carbon than like a human. And that's a big problem. And you think maybe it's not important, but if you come to Australia, you know, we are actually in a fire these days. I think from Saturday, the rain coming, so another kind of climate change. But maybe it's some relation between all of the data which we actually, all of the energy which we consume, all of the like, emission which we produce to this effect, to this quality. So what we should do? So I spoke that data getting hot, big data is important. And these days, even in my hotel, when I try to watch some movie, in the middle, just advertisement comment. We would like to do the data science in India, blah, blah, blah. So you see, they like to have all of us as a data scientist. But the problem is, we should be responsible. And now we are in the third wave of AI. We start with a symbolic AI, then we move to a statistical AI, which I call it sometimes black box. And you can see the notion of the explainability of the AI, which we are now we are thinking we should have it. Okay. Black box first time which I heard actually this word, I know from the airplane. And you know what's happening in Iran again recently in the Ukraine crash. For the black box for the airplane, maybe that's right. We need some expert people to know what's happening. But for machine learning, it is not the case. So when we work with the deep learning, to me, on something like a vision, that's okay. But for some decision like a lending in the bank, maybe the black box model is not very good. It's not the best one. And hopefully in the top conferences we can see that, at least from our community, we know and we actually are aware of this problem. So in the CIKM, the theme of this year is on sustainability, transparency, and fairness. And again, in the KDD, in the applied data science track, you can see the responsible data science, which is a good notion. And what we can do in our community as a data scientist in a machine learning. And another good news is our actually scientists or like experts, they think that they need a policy for ethical AI. Also employer, they a bit lower, but also they think that we need employees. But unfortunately, it is a fact that just 20% of the companies, they have this policy. So what is the ethical AI? So the problem is, which I faced last year, when I tried to book, I think more like a flight. For the second time, I find that the booking system does not give me the fare which I find at the first instance. Then I find that possibly they know they might they recognize me and they know that I'm going to buy this one, so they use this trick. So it's not ethical. But in some hospital, I know that in a state that they put like sensors on the nurses, and the wage is based on the distance they are walking every day. It is not fair. So we have this notion of the actually ethical AI, which is very important. So I'm going to just give you two summary of explainable AI from a workshop of last year with ADB, and if I have time on fairness. And you see, if you have a black box model, and if you deny actually the request or credit request of the user, then the issue is that user does not know why. And that's an important issue. That if you actually make some decision, or if you actually generate some decision, and sometimes that decision is very automatic, you should have kind of explanation for the user. And you see, for some sectors like finance or marketing, security, logistics, user does not know. And why that's happened, as I mentioned, because the machine learning is part of the society. Maybe 10 years back, we were in the side of like a research, but these days, a lot of companies working, and they have actually service, and those services are in our life, because now from machine learning to the human, we have this connection. What's happening? It is very somehow funny that from a statistical, like a very basic regression, we move to neural network, and now for explanation, we should back again. So we were in the research, we had to do something to say we are progressing. We reached to some state. Now we can see some of those methods, they are very complicated. They cannot talk with the human. So that human can be normal user, it can be CEO, it can be like your manager. Then you should shift back. This is very somehow funny that why we should do that. And you know, you can see a lot of problems happening. For example, in Amazon, the hiring system just more towards the male, or in some situation, which I explained the fairness that the fairness vision systems does not work well for the black people, which is an issue actually. This slide is a very good slide. You can see that this problem of black box AI can be or can actually make the issue for different stakeholders. For business owner, whether he can trust or not. For the customer support, if you have an AI in backhand, how can explain that AI for your normal customer? That's another problem. And you can see we have different problems here. So one of the solutions is we think that we should put the human in the loop, which is not easy. So let's move on here. And sometimes that can be very costly. For example, for the Uber or for automatic cars, if you have this kind of actually line recognition, it leads to some accident, which is not nice. So again, for improving, we need this kind of loop. It can be one solution. And recently, you can see this GDPR, that fairness is important, privacy is important. We should be able to explain the result of AI model, and it should be transparent. Why? And they put as a rule, as an act, that everyone has this actually right to ask why. Why I get this output, why I get rejected, why I cannot pass, why I cannot get this low. So in Facebook, they try to do that, why you are seeing this one, the reason that, why I'm seeing this, and some answer. 5 minutes, okay. So let me just skip this one, technical things that they use like attribution problem, then they move to the gradient, how they can use it. For some methods like decision to reshape the value, and we have inputs as a player. So we come to fairness. As I mentioned, this problem has been highlighted first that some of the vision systems, they are not working well for people with the black actual skin. And you can see the error rate for darker skin people is darker skin women people are much higher. And you see my story. So you think that what's the relation of this photo with this touch? So the left side is me, the right is me, but when I applied for the visa in India, it's different setting. Then first I see the photo, I thought, oh, I'm very Indian. And possibly maybe that's come with the reason that rather than having the system for different nations, they change the photo. Then the model is work for all India. Maybe, I'm not sure. But very interesting that you can see different. So actually, you manipulate your data. And as you can see, this like a flow, design, data, model, and application. The data is very important. If you have a biased data or erroneous data, it's not good. And we have some reason. Let's quickly go. Okay. Sometimes bias is good, sometimes it's not good. For the loan application, it is not good. It is discrimination. But for the health issue of women and men are different. So we need some kind of bias here. So just 5 types of bias. Population.